This story all happened a long time ago. It was back in the 2000s. My parents didn't get cable or internet for about until I was about 10 years old. So most of my life I would just go on the TV and watch PBS Kids because that was probably the only kids cartoon beside Nick Jr., which would always freeze. There were lots of cool stuff on there. There was Super Y. What else was that show? I don't remember. And oh, I remember my favorite was Arthur. So after seeing Arthur a lot, we had a DVD player in the front of the room. So I decided that I would. So that's when I started collecting Arthur DVDs. There's a local DVD store down, like in these places where it's combined stores, like near the barber and stuff. And then one day I went and I wanted to pick up a Arthur DVD, but there was only one I could see. It was pretty weird looking. It had Arthur on the front, but it looked like it was scratched up and like from the 80s or something. Didn't sweat too much. I just went to the front of the cashier and paid. And then I came home. I It was a school week, so I had to do a lot of homework. It was a Friday, so I thought on Saturday morning I would watch it. After I finished my homework, I went to bed, and then when Saturday morning came, I woke up at like 7, which I usually don't, and hopped on to the TV and started watching it. So the episode started with like the normal theme song, but the themes it looked like a darker tint of color was added to the theme song, and the voice who was singing was scratchy instead of like normal, you know. And the episode started. It was titled "The Death of Grandma." What? What was that? Forget it, I said. The episode started with Arthur and DW in the hospital. Arthur was reading a book that looked to be about Bionic Bunny. "Arthur, I'm bored. Why won't you play with me?" said DW. "Shut up, DW. I'm trying to read." "We've been here for so long. Why are we even here?" said DW. Then Arthur's parents came back crying. Well, his mom was crying, and his dad said, "Well, guys, I have bad news to say. It looks like we're not going to be seeing Grandma Thora ever again." Then started crying. Arthur did the usual gasp with the weird music and then dropped his book. DW started crying too. It then cut to Arthur at home, just petting Pal, looking very sad. He went outside to go outside and then he went outside to go outside. What does that mean? He went outside and he saw Buster. And then he was like, "Hey, I heard what happened. Do you want to go to the Sugar Bowl?" And then they eventually went, although there was no talking at the Sugar Bowl. After that, it then cut to a church. There was no. It looked to be the funeral. There was no sad music or anything, just crying. Arthur, we couldn't visibly see his eyes, but he had tears running down his face. And then the beautiful white coffin draped in flowers opened up, but not to reveal Arthur's grandma, but more his mother. Her eyes were just buttons, and her teeth were all yellow and grimy and stuff. Everyone started to leave, and then the coffins, and then really weird things happened, like the coffin moving and stuff. And then Arthur ends up being back at home going to sleep. But in the middle of the night, it looked to be, Arthur gets up, grabs his coat, grabs his backpack, and goes outside. It's the usual happy music that's playing, but that was happy until he gets to the graveyard. It was his grandma's graveyard. And then he starts digging and digging and digging. His arms and hands were bleeding from all the digging. He eventually found the casket and opened up, and next everyone was next to him. "I Kate did it. Kate did it," said DW, with sounds of crying and other mixed up noises. He eventually found himself in the coffin, and everything started swirling around as if it was a circle or a headache. After that, it cut to a black screen, and then went to Arthur in prison with scratches all over his face and the prison costume that they would usually use in the show. I didn't do. Okay, I did it. I I poisoned my parents. I killed DW. I stabbed Kate's brains out. I killed Pal. But I didn't do it. She made me do it. Thor made me do it. He yelled. He screamed, and then the episode just ended. What the hell did I just watch? I thought. I know that this was not a normal episode, and I wanted to return it, but I told them about how what I had a complaint to the person at the DVD store about what happened, but something it was really weird what happens. I instead of it showing that, and it was trying to say screw you to me who thought that they would see the DVD. It ended just playing normal episodes. I tried watching it again, but it was just a normal episode. So what was that? Did someone was there like some teenagers who wanted to be funny and put that in there for a temporary time just to scare a kid? I don't know. And I don't I really, 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 really don't think I will ever know why that episode exists. Well, hello, boys and girls, and that was Arthur and the Death of Grandma. My final thoughts? It was, I always say an okay, but this one, I have to say, it was really good. It was really good. Although I did want to change it up a bit if you actually look up the real story. There's people upload like Brendan Barney, Dave the Useless, and much more, etc. So, anyways, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this and sweet dreams.